Hey everybody, I'm Sari Custer and this is Sari On Science for Arizona Science Center. Welcome to my office. We're doing something a little bit different today because I wanted to talk to you about the polar vortex. I've got lots of questions about it from the Science Center today, and I figured all of you must have questions too. We've been hearing the term polar vortex. We've been hearing about the crazy temperatures happening up in the Midwest. So what on earth is going on? Let's take a look. Now, I had to look it up myself just to really check out what's going on. So I want to just go ahead and share my computer with you, and we'll take a look at some great graphics. So bear with me. Here we go. And the first one that I thought was really awesome, and you can look this up on your own if you would like to. It's from NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. They have a fabulous image here to describe the polar vortex. Now, looking at the image they have here, it really helps as a visual. The stable polar vortex, so this is a normal low pressure system of cold air that it circulates counterclockwise around the North Pole. So that's normal. It stays up there. High pressure systems help keep it regulated. The strong jet stream keeps it in motion. But now sometimes there are disturbances like warmer air temperatures over the oceans that start to interfere with those high pressure systems, keeping the low pressure system in place. So when that happens, we see what's happening over here in this right graphic, where we get what they're calling a wavy polar vortex. So that jet stream starts to move around a little bit, and that lets some of the cold air seep down lower into the continent, so into the United States. And now that's happening actually on other continents as well. So I don't want you to think it's just happening here in the U.S., but it does happen all over the world, just not necessarily at the same time. I thought that NASA did a really great job too. Look at this video. This really shows some great coloration to give you a sense of what's happening. So there, the blue cold air that's normally circulating around the North Pole is seeping down into the United States here, into those Midwestern states. And now the Rockies, the chain of mountains in the west, actually helps to deflect that a little bit and keep it to the east. You'll notice anybody living in California or here in Arizona, we had a lovely day today. I believe it was 68 last I checked. And we aren't seeing the impact of that cold air nearly the way they are up in the Midwest. If you haven't heard, some of those temperatures are absolutely frigid. I was looking last night as the fronts really started moving in, and Minneapolis was at 25 degrees below zero when I checked. That was at 11 o'clock last night. I can't even begin to fathom that. Oh, and here, this is a really great map too, also from NOAA, showing just that band across the United States here, the warmer temperatures down in the south and in the west, and those cold, bitter cold temperatures. Looks like just a rainbow of color here, looking at the Midwest. And now I saw a great tweet today, if you get a chance to look it up, from the National Weather Service. They actually had one of their team members working on this map, or another similar map, and they had to expand their color palette in their temperature bar because they didn't have enough colors to span all of the temperatures in the United States. So that really helps to put certain things in perspective for you. But these really light colors, here's this light pink, these are the coldest temperatures right now, and they're really settled right over Minnesota. So let's take a deeper look at Minnesota. Here on the Weather Channel's website, so weather.com, I had been looking at Minneapolis last night, and if you're familiar with International Falls, let me show you on the map. Actually, we'll just bring that up so you can see it too. Here, it's going to load. It's north of Minneapolis, right on the border of Canada, almost straight north. So in the same state, kind of close, sort of far away, depends on how you look at it. But International Falls is significantly colder than Minneapolis right now. It's 29 degrees below zero, so a whole 10 degrees colder than Minneapolis. And when you start to look at the hourly forecast for International Falls, that's not the coldest it's going to get. It's going to get down to about 39 degrees below zero tonight, so into tomorrow morning. Early Thursday morning, they're expecting it to be super cold. Now, we're seeing 2-mile-an-hour winds, and something you may have also heard is wind chill, or hey, it's going to be 39, but it feels like a colder temperature. That's wind chill. So when the wind blows, that air is moving, and it's moving all the warm air around your body away from you. So even though it might be a certain air temperature, the wind makes it feel even colder because that heat isn't staying around you. Now, NOAA also has a really great wind chill chart, so you can start to calculate what wind chill is going to look like in your area. So for example, International Falls we just looked at, it's going to be about 40 degrees below zero. And they did have a wind chill up here, feels like. It says in their chart when it's 39, it's going to feel like 39. If you go by the wind chill chart, about 40 degrees below zero with about the lowest they have on the map here, or on the chart here, is 5-mile-an-hour winds. It would feel like negative 57. That is so cold. And what you also will notice on this wind chill chart are the bands of color. So the purple, dark blue, light blue, and a lighter blue. So in this band, these are our exposure times for frostbite. Now, if it was negative 40 and a 5-mile-an-hour wind with a 57-degree wind chill factor, so feels like 57 degrees out, if you were outside in that weather for 10 minutes, you could get frostbite. That's not a lot of time. That's walking leisurely down to the mailbox and back. So really, this is dangerous weather as far as how cold it is. And it's even, I was curious, it's even colder than Antarctica. So at the South Pole right now, it is negative 8 degrees, although other parts of Antarctica are reported to be about 33 degrees below zero. So we can actually say that it's going to be colder in the Midwest than it is in Antarctica. And that's something that I just can't ever recall. I was also curious. Well, actually, let me show you too, because not everybody is hating the cold. It is dangerous. We want to make sure people are careful because, yes, absolutely. So think about your pets. Think about those who might not have a warm, safe place to go, and make sure you're staying safe. But I had to appreciate some folks in Michigan. So one of my best friends from childhood, Candace Decay, sent me this beautiful photo from the back of her house looking out over Lake St. Clair in Michigan. So right on the coast, beautiful lake, and the lake starts right here after the fence. And it almost looks like it continues forever. But it was about 7 degrees below zero, really, really cold. She said it just felt like the tundra, or looked like the tundra. And the ice on the lake is about 6 inches right now. And through the day, it probably even got a little bit thicker. But they continued to enjoy not just the beauty of it, but took advantage of, dare I say, the warmer temperatures and did some science. So this is our good friend Owen. And Owen's a young man who wanted to see if his egg would freeze in the negative 7-degree temperature. And as you can tell, the egg froze solid, and he was wowed by the fact that that egg just wouldn't crack. Tossed it around on the pavement, slamming it down. Here we go. Yep, right there. Still didn't break. So Owen took it in his own hands to see if he could get it to, almost his own Mythbusters moment, and smashed it. See? Looks like a hard-boiled egg, even though it's just frozen. So some really good science investigations going on, just taking advantage of the cold, but not for too long. I know they went, for a fact that they went in right after that. So again, while I appreciate the science, I want you all to please, please, please be careful. And I don't know what the weather is like where you are. I'd love to know what you're doing, if you're hunkering down, if you're staying safe, staying warm, what you're doing to combat the weather. And I was curious what the coldest it had ever been here in Arizona. As I mentioned today, it was absolutely beautiful. It's around, this says around 72 right now. So it is beautiful. Sorry to rub it in, guys. But it was, let's see, recorded, coldest temperature ever recorded. This is from the Weather Channel. They did some research, and you can check this out for your area. But here in Arizona, negative 40, and that was recorded in Holly Lake. Higher elevation, about 8,000 feet above sea level. And if you're not sure where it is, it's right about Show Low. I had to look it up because, sorry guys, I hadn't heard of it before. So here's Phoenix, and this pin right here is in Holly Lake, so right near Show Low, slightly northeast in a little higher elevation, but negative 40. I didn't know it had ever been that cold in Arizona, so I'm definitely learning something new right along with you. But going back to the beginning, I hope you have a better understanding now of what that polar vortex is doing. That cold Arctic air is just sort of seeping its way down into the Midwestern states. We're seeing it hang out for a couple days. The good news is it should clear out here by Friday. We'll start to see warmer temperatures for sure by Saturday in certain places. But we still want to be vigilant, stay warm, be safe, and just stick around inside. But I hope you've enjoyed learning about the polar vortex. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments. And Of course, you can always check us out at any time if you're in the Phoenix area. We're here on the floor. Our Blue Crew is happy to answer any questions for you at any time. You can find all of our information at azscience.org. Love you guys. Stay safe. I'm Sari Custer, and we'll see you next time with Sari On Science.